Welcome back, everybody, to the Westlake Hornets Team Builder Dynasty here on NCAA Football 14. As today, Westlake continuing to round out the regular season here in year 15 of the series, headed out to the University of Air Force to take on the 3-7 Falcons. Westlake coming off by far their toughest game of the season last week, beating Washington in overtime, 37-34. It was certainly a crazy game, a game that Westlake really arguably should have lost. And of course, the QB battle ended going into last week. Obviously, Westlake has had their long-standing quarterback battle, but Anthony Cortez earned the right to be the full-time starter for the first time this season. And AC3 did not play all that well, and then he got injured. And then CC Vaughn, who he's been competing with, stepped in and led Westlake to a nice fourth-quarter comeback, and then the victory in overtime. Now, Anthony Cortez III will remain the full-time starter, but that is a little bit interesting. Welcome, everybody, to Falcon Stadium. Here is the number one ranked 9-0 Westlake Hornets take on the 3-7 Air Force Falcons. It is senior day for Air Force, a very early senior day, so obviously they'd love to get their seniors one final home victory. And Westlake knows that they still have to keep playing their all if they want any shot of making this national championship, especially with a very tough Pac-12 with a lot of Pac-12 teams right in the mix for the national championship. It'll be Air Force starting on offense, 3rd and 7. It's Tucker Jadiri with a diving catch for 15. Nice pass from Bailey. 2nd and 9. Bailey under pressure. He's sacked by the nickel corner, Brandon Ralph. Ralph had 2 sacks a week ago in the Washington game, and he already gets one here. Brandon Ralph was all over the field in, obviously, last week's game, and good to see him starting off hot here. 3rd and 17. Bailey's pass is incomplete, broken up by Joe Lilly. Lilly has 5 interceptions this year. He's been really good. I'm surprised he didn't catch that one. Westlake back on offense. AC3 coming off probably his worst performance of the year in his first game as the full-time starter, even though, obviously, he got hurt down the stretch. 3rd and 6. Westlake does not get the first down. Isaiah Sparks only gets 6 on the reception. So now it is 4th and inches. The Hornets are going to go for it. Hand it off to the HEISMAN favorite, Isaiah Sparks, who runs for the first down. Sparks has 22 rushing touchdowns on this season. He has a legit chance to break Barry Sanders' record for the most rushing touchdowns in a single season, which is currently set at 34. 2nd and inches, AC3 with the toss to the left side for Isaiah Sparks, who makes a nice cut inside the 30 for a gain of 14. Good start for Sparks. And Isaiah Sparks really did not play all that well at the beginning of last week, but he really played well as the game went along, and he is the reason why Westlake won in overtime, got the game-winning touchdown. He made all the big plays in the overtime period. 2nd and 10, there's Cassius Troy to the 5-yard line for a gain of 24 yards. And Westlake is really moving down the field nicely, easily, and efficiently. 1st and goal. Sparks with the handoff. He gets a nice block from Avery Horn and is into the end zone for a Westlake touchdown. Isaiah Sparks does it again. He has at least 1 rushing touchdown in every game this season. He has been nothing short of spectacular. And it is now 7-0, 3rd down. Jonathan Bailey's pass is incomplete. Shenera Tabudko with the pressure. Air Force forced to punt it. No pun intended. And Westlake is really looking good early here, as what you would expect. 1st down, it's going to be handoff for Isaiah Sparks. Sparks with a nice block from his fullback, Hill, trying to stiff-arm the defender. He gets 15 yards. That was a very hard hit out of bounds, but Isaiah Sparks not shaken up. He'll be fine. Not on the field on this play, however. It's Irving Porter in the backfield. He gets the handoff. Porter with a nice cut up the middle for a gain of 12, and Westlake's rushing attack is really moving the ball down the field very quickly. Now 1st down, Hornets are getting very close to the red zone. Sparks back in the game. AC3, a strike into the hands of Maurice Rogers, who gets 16. Mo Rogers still has not caught a touchdown pass this year. That's kind of crazy considering he is a starter. 2nd and goal. Hornets going to try to punch it in with a pass. Cortez scrambling. He's just going to hope he gets lucky. It's a dump off for Lamar Gallagher. He loses 2. And that sets up a tough 3rd and goal here for Westlake. The Hornets are 0 for 1 today on 3rd down. Obviously, then they went for it on 4th down. That was on the first drive of the game. Cortez connects in the back of the end zone. Cassius Troy stumbling, but he does make the reception for the touchdown. AC3 with a nice drive and a nice pass to finish things off. Cassius Troy with great footwork, managing to keep one in bounds. In college, remember, you only need to keep one in. And it is now 14-0. Jonathan Bailey on first down with excellent anticipation. He gets it to Scott. Air Force has had a few nice plays. Their offense has shown signs of life. And now another nice play for Young inside the 20. Here comes Air Force. They're starting to figure some things out. Westlake's defense has obviously been elite this year, one of the best in the nation. They did have their worst game of the season last week, however, against Washington. 3rd and 9, it's broken up. Why in God's name was Jabari Achabe in coverage? I mean, it doesn't matter. He's actually the one who gets the deflection, but Achabe should be going after the quarterback. Doesn't he have like 12 sacks this year? 4th and 9, Air Force has to go for the field goal. This should be a fairly easy one from around 32 yards out. The kick is good. Very windy day here. 13-mile-an-hour winds, as you were probably able to tell on that kick. That'll do it for quarter number 1. Westlake Hornets looking good early. They lead at 14-3. The offense has been spectacular. Defensively, not great, but they've only allowed 3 points, so you can't really complain. On to the second quarter. Isaiah Sparks gets the toss. Sparks with another nice cut. He's been very busy today. We do have a flag on the play, and it looks like it's going to be coming back. Clipping on the Hornets. The flag is called on Kyle Harris, so instead of a nice first down, it's now 3rd and 8. That penalty could be a costly one if the Hornets are unable to get it here. It looks like they're going to try to throw it. Cortez gets it to Kadarius Franklin, and he does not get the first down. So the clipping penalty indeed is how this drive will come to an end. Westlake decides to play it safe and punt it. So Air Force gets it back. 2nd and inches. Here is Charles Childs with the handoff. Nice gain of 12 for Childs. He is the little engine that could on this offense. He's not big, he's not strong, but when he's in the open field, he's a goddamn locomotive. 2nd and 1, Jonathan Bailey loses 3. Gordon Waters-Key, the true freshman, brings him down. Gordon Waters-Key has really improved throughout the season. It's been good to see his growth. 3rd and 4 now for Air Force. Bailey, he's going to try to pass it into the hands of Joe Lilly, but it's incomplete. Looked like he was trying to throw it to Joe Lilly. I mean, what kind of pass was that? 4th and 4, a long field goal. This one from around 55 yards out, and he absolutely drills it. I don't know who this Air Force kicker is, but he's got himself a boot. 14-6. Technically, it is a one-score game, as Air Force is only down by 8. Hornets with it. Here's Matt Miller on 2nd and 9 with a juke, and there he goes! Matt Miller, the killer! What a run! Touchdown, Westlake! Miller was quiet last week against Washington. The week before had the game of his life against Oregon. And here, he gets the play of his life. What a move. An incredible juke move by Matt Miller. I don't know if we've seen a run that spectacular by Isaiah Sparks this year. We got to get a closer look at this move again. Holy smokes. Matt Miller, you good sir, are a machine. 21-6 now. Westlake leads with 3.5 to go in the first half as Charles Childs gets the handoff again. He gets a nice gain of around 15 yards. Obviously, this Westlake defense has been good, but as we've noticed throughout the season, their run defense has been a little bit shaky. 2nd and 9, Charles Childs again breaking tackles. Tries to cut past Graves. He's unsuccessful, but still another nice gain of 15 for Charles Childs, who is continuing to play really well in this football game. First down now for Air Force. Jonathan Bailey has Reyes open on the slant route. That's Alvin Reyes for a gain of 13. Hit hard by Florentino Phoenix. Air Force has 10 first down to Westlake 6, which is kind of interesting. Bailey keeps it on the option, but he is going to stumble backwards. The force of Big Tuna, Richard Rivers Jr., forced Jonathan Bailey to lose 7 on that play. Yeah, if I ran into a 6'11", 380-pound man, that's probably what would happen to me too. 3rd and 13. Bailey breaks 1 sack, but he is still brought down. Winston Johnson with the initial contact. And I believe that was Lubert's Roy who finished him off. Let's take another look. Yeah, that was Roy with the sack. And now it's 4th and 20. 420 blaze it. Air Force's kicker is 2 of 2 today. Should be able to make it 3 of 3. And he will from 37 yards out. So despite the wind being a problem here, it has not caused this Air Force kicker to struggle. He is 3 for 3. Let's take a look at an EA Sports Studio update. Number 2, Fresno State, currently losing to Hawaii. Westlake and Fresno State could rematch in the national title game. I'm not going to talk about the last time those two teams played in the Natty because you all probably know by now. So now it is 21-9. Now 2nd and 7. Isaiah Sparks loses 4. Wrapped up by Tanner Thomas. That makes it a 3rd and 11. And the Falcons call timeout. They believe their defense is going to get a stop, and they do not. Anthony Cortez connects with an open Cassius Troy for 18. And I've got to say, AC3 has been a lot more efficient today than he was last week in the Washington game. First down, now around 40 seconds to go in the first half. Here goes Cortez. Down the field, he will run out of bounds, but not before gaining 23 on the run. That's his first carry of the game, and it is a pretty big one. 3rd and 3 now, 29 seconds to go. Westlake just used their second timeout. They're down to 1. Cortez going to look to throw it, and it's a strike for Kadarius Franklin, who gets 11. So now there is 20 seconds to go in the first half. 2nd and 10. Westlake still has 1 timeout at their disposal. Sparks with the toss. He gets a beautiful block from Hill with a nice first down. He is pounded by the safety, but not before getting 12. Probably should have tried to run out of bounds, stop the clock. But that doesn't look like it's going to matter. Sparks powers his way into the end zone for a Westlake touchdown, and the Hornets will regain a 3-score lead with 11 seconds to go in the first half. A very nice run from Isaiah Sparks, who had a great first half, as Westlake will take a 28-9 lead going into the halftime intermission. The offense has looked almost flawless so far today. Defensively, it's been a little bit shaky. Air Force does have 3 scoring drives, but they've all been field goals. Westlake has done a good job of keeping them out of the end zone. So now it's 28-9. First play of the third quarter. Cortez connects with his tight end, Lamar Gallagher, for a gain of 19 yards. Good enough for a Westlake first down, of course. Hornets going to try to get the passing game, specifically the deep passing game, going more here in the third quarter. Anthony Cortez threw a lot of short passes, and while they worked, we know he can sling it deep a little bit as he gets Mo Rogers for 20. See what I mean? Westlake can make big plays in the passing game. They just haven't today, and if they do that, then yeah, they're definitely going to win. First down. Looks like it's an option, but AC3 is going to keep it. Cortez down the field, slides inside the 15. A very big run for Anthony Cortez. We're only 30 seconds into the drive, but Westlake's offense appears to have not missed a beat since halftime. So now it is 2nd and 6 here for Westlake. The Hornets inching closer and closer towards the goal line as Cortez hands it off for Isaiah Sparks. Sparks with a nice cut up the middle. There's the hat trick. 3 touchdowns today for Isaiah Sparks. Usually when you get a hat trick, that's pretty spectacular, but we're kind of accustomed to it with Isaiah Sparks. He's had a number of 3+ touchdown games this year. He now has 25 on this season. And look at this. Number 4 Michigan having trouble with Indiana. Number 2 Fresno State now down by 2 scores against Hawaii. So there's a legit shot. The top 3 or 4 teams all could be in the Pac-12. That is pretty wild. If all of this holds up, if Fresno State and Michigan both lose, the Pac-12 is going to be heavily represented towards the top of the AP polls. So now it is 35-9. Air Force not looking particularly strong at the moment. 2nd and 3. Bailey is sacked. He's going to feel that hit tomorrow. Big tuna. Richard Rivers Jr., the projected number 1 overall pick in next year's NFL draft, brings him down. If you have the first overall pick and you're not picking Richard Rivers Jr., you're making a mistake. 3rd and 14. It looks like it's going to be a halfback slip screen for Charles Childs. And he's actually going to get the first down. Gets a few blocks. Lubart's Roy missed the tackle. So Air Force is going to keep the drive going. How about them apples? Following play, another halfback slip screen. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's what Westlake's defense is saying there. That's what Lubart's Roy specifically is saying there as he does get the stop. 3rd and 4 now. Another handoff for Childs. He does not get it. What a tackle by Jabari Achabe, showing off that speed, making the shoestring tackle. And Jabari Achabe, just a freak coming off that edge, showing that he makes a big impact of a run game as well. 4th and inches. I'm surprised Air Force did not fake the punt. I was fully expecting them to either go for it or fake it. I guess that's them kind of throwing the white flag. I mean, you're only down by 26. It's not like you're down by 50. So Westlake gets it back. First down, Cortez under pressure. He's going to run for another big play. He'll go out of bounds, but not before gaining 15. A very nice run for Anthony Cortez III. That'll lead to a 3rd and 10 now for Westlake at around midfield. Play action fake. Cortez scrambling again with it. He's going to try to get it to Tegan Moon, but it looks like there was some miscommunication between Cortez and Moon. Moon started to go deep right as Cortez threw it, and that would lead to a Westlake punt. Air Force back on offense. They're going to go with another halfback slip screen, and again, Lou Burtroy has it figured out. He was a little bit confused the first time, but you can't consistently run the same play and expect it to work. 3rd quarter in the books, 35-9. Hornets up, but don't go anywhere. Let's just say this 4th quarter was a fun one. 2nd and 8. First play of the quarter. Westlake back on offense. Matt Miller with the reception. Miller down the sidelines, and he's going to be pushed out at around the 25, but not before gaining 28 yards. Westlake doing a nice job of punching it down the field as it is 3rd and 1. It's going to be a handoff for Isaiah Sparks. There is touchdown number 4 for Sparks. He's got to be getting close to the all-time school record for not only touchdowns in a game, but touchdowns in a season, both of which belong to Westlake all-time great Alex Ellis. Ellis owns every major rushing record, but that could change as soon as today. Fresno State still down by 10, by the way, against Hawaii. It's now 38-28. But Alex Ellis has owned all the rushing records for the past 10 years. His last season at Westlake was season 7. That's nearly a decade ago. Time really does fly. And Isaiah Sparks finally might get an opportunity to take a dent into the books. 3rd down, another stop for the Hornets. Evan Young only gets around 9, so it's 4th and 1. And the Falcons are going to go for it. Why not? But why didn't they go for it in this situation earlier in the game? It's a handoff for Charles Childs, and he does get it. He only got a yard, but that's all he needs to keep the drive going for the Falcons. First down now for Air Force from around the 35. Bailey going deep downfield, and it's picked off. Florentino Phoenix with the INT. Westlake's defense, specifically the secondary, has done a phenomenal job of ball hawking opposing quarterbacks. They've not gotten an interception yet today until now. Westlake has decided to put some backups in. CeCe Vaughn now at quarterback. He connects with Damian Purcell, the redshirt freshman, for a gain of 20. There are certain positions that Westlake does not have a ton of depth at. Looking at you, offensive line, linebacker, and defensive back, where most of the starters will remain in the game. And Isaiah Sparks will still get a lot of snaps because, well, he's trying to win a goddamn Heisman Trophy. 3rd down, Vaughn's pass is incomplete for Lamar Gallagher, tight end, another position where Westlake does not have a lot of depth. And Air Force has it back. 2nd and 5. Bailey's pass is intercepted. Joe Lilly read the play from the start. Another halfback slip screen. Why do they even keep trying? Lilly brings it all the way to the 1 before being tackled by Childs. That's Joe Lilly's 6th interception of the year. Westlake now has an opportunity to punch it in with around 3 minutes to go. First down, Vaughn with a toss for Isaiah Sparks. That will tie the school record. 5 rushing touchdowns in a game. Alex Ellis is the first one to get this feat. Isaiah Sparks back in week 1 against Utah State did run for 5 touchdowns, so they do have that tie. Westlake will get it back on offense shortly after, and there goes Sparks down the field. Welcome to the record books, Isaiah. His 6th touchdown of the game. Is this his Heisman moment? It might just be. An 80-yard run to give him the most rushing touchdowns in a game in school history, and he owns that record on his own. He's not tied with Ellis anymore. As you can see, Hawaii officially beats Fresno State, but Michigan does defeat Indiana. So Fresno State's national championship hopes are looking kind of bleak, but Michigan still has a shot. It's now 56-9. Westlake has put up 21 here in the 4th quarter. As Bailey on first down looking to throw it, he's intercepted again. They keep going for the short passes. Joe Lilly with his 2nd interception in the past minute, and Westlake again will get the ball back. The definition of insanity is continuously doing something and expecting a different result. Air Force keeps on going with these short passes. They keep throwing it to Joe Lilly expecting something different, and that's not what's going to happen. Isaiah Sparks with his 7th rushing touchdown of the game, his 29th of the season. By the way, that does break Alex Ellis's mark for most touchdowns in a season. I don't remember the exact number that Ellis had, but Isaiah Sparks now has the most touchdowns in a game and in a season in school history. 2nd and 9, Bailey is intercepted again. They keep doing it. Joe Lilly with his 3rd interception in the past 2 minutes. This one will go for a pick 6. Jonathan Bailey has thrown 4 interceptions in the 4th quarter. Joe Lilly ties the school record for most interceptions in a game, and he literally did it in the span of 2 minutes. That is unbelievable. They kept running slip screens, and then once Joe Lilly got his 1st interception in the game, they just went with short passes to the running back, and yeah, it didn't work. I don't know what you're going to expect. CeCe Vaughn, actually no, that's Isaiah Sparks, excuse me. He's going to take the knee. They're letting Sparks do it. The reason why Westlake decided to take the knee was because they have 69 on the scoreboard. Nice. Air Force does decide to run one final halfback slip screen for the memes, but yeah, 69-9. What a dominant 4th quarter by Westlake. Through 3 quarters, this looks like a Hornets blowout, but it looked like a controlled blowout. Isaiah Sparks ran for 4 touchdowns in the final quarter. He had 7 on the day. Joe Lilly had 3 interceptions in the 4th quarter. He now has 8 on the season, which does lead the country. That might be the most dominant quarter I've seen in school history, and Air Force just has to feel embarrassed. I don't know how else to put it. That was a joke of a performance by the Falcons in the 4th quarter. They kept throwing slip screens and short passes, and Joe Lilly kept intercepting them. And once Westlake got the ball back, Isaiah Sparks, sure enough, would easily score. So let's just put this 4th quarter into perspective real quick before we end today's video, because I want to show you guys the numbers of how dominant we were and how quickly we scored in that 4th quarter. So if I ever decide to load it, here you go. We had the 5-yard touchdown run by Isaiah Sparks, and then in the final 3 minutes, we scored 4 touchdowns. In the final minute and a half, we scored 3 touchdowns. Isaiah Sparks had 7 on the day, 4 in the 4th quarter. Joe Lilly was a machine. You guys had that figured out. Hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. And as always, have a good one. Peace out.